I am very supported by a superintendent, Ms. LaShaka Moore, and assistant superintendent, Dr. Angela O'Brien, who really kind of feel like when we talk about our students, we're talking about all of our students. We're not just talking about some of the students. And when we talk about all students, it includes our students that learn at a different pace. It includes our students that learn in a different capacity, that need a different media in order to access their curriculum. So I'm real grateful for that I've got folks that are going, hey, how do we get to yes for these kids? And that's what we're doing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my special guest today is Kimberli Halliday. Kimberli is the Director of Exceptional Student Education at Flagler County Public Schools in Flagler County, Florida. Kimberli, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So tell everybody a little bit about what you've been doing and what's going on in Flagler County.
Sure. So I have been the very proud director for 3 years. I'm moving into my 4th year, but for many of us, we still kind of consider ourselves rookies. Being in education, this is my 32nd year in education, but in a leadership capacity, we're on year 4, and I'm so proud to share some of the progress that we've made with some of our initiatives, as far as providing support to our ESE teachers to ensure that our students are getting the services and supports per their IEP.
And ESC stands for
Exceptional Student Education. So I directly oversee all of the programs for students who have services via IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. So all of the students with services such as an IEP, an individual education plan, they all fall somewhere under my purview.
Right. Yeah. And I asked that because not everybody is in Florida, and Florida has that distinction of using that term. So it's always very good we love our acronyms, don't we? We love
absolutely
education.
Education and acronyms, we go hand in hand.
Yeah. The military, I'm discovering my son is in the Air National Guard, and I'm discovering they like them too. So as a speech therapist, every industry has their vocabulary. So, but it's always good to get clarification. So I appreciate that. So, so what's going on there? What are you guys doing? You said you've come in, you've had 3 years, and you're successful, right? It's going well.
We're getting there. I can honestly say we're getting there. When you look at our student progress, all of our schools are making gains. Some of our schools had made, if you know how schools are graded in the state of Florida, we made 30-point gains with our students with disabilities.
Wow,
so
fantastic!
Proud of some of those initiatives, and I'm grateful to say that the things that look like maybe they're just coming out of my office, they are not. I am very supported by a superintendent, Ms. LaShaka Moore, and assistant superintendent, Dr. Angela O'Brien, who really kind of feel like when we talk about our students, we're talking about all of our students. We're not just talking about some of the students. And when we talk about all of our students, it includes our students that learn at a different pace. It includes our students that learn in a different capacity, that need a different media in order to access their curriculum. So I'm real grateful for that I've got folks that are going, hey, how do we get to yes for these kids? And that's what we're doing. We're getting to yes. Some of the things that we've had initiative for the last couple of years, prior to me, and it certainly wasn't just any other ESE directors. We have had some rock star directors that I still consider very dear friends and mentors to me. But we didn't have a lot of consistency. So stepping in, one of the very first things that I kind of felt like we needed to kind of wrap our arms around is how are we consistently ensuring our students are getting the services and supports per their IEP? We had people keeping documentation, paper, pencil. We had people keeping documentation on their phones. We had people keeping documentation on Excel spreadsheets. But any way you sliced and diced it, if a parent was to ask for, hey, I just want to know that little Johnny has been getting his speech services per his IEP, it may look different if that parent had 3 kids, 3 different ways across all 3 of our different schools. So one of the very first things that we did is we implemented a systematic way of collecting evidence that we are doing what we say we're doing.
Nice.
It made things a lot more transparent. We've got families that definitely every right. They're advocating for their kids. They want to make sure that they're getting all the things they need. Having information coming at you from multiple different ways, from multiple different sources, can be overwhelming. And to be very honest with you, the IEP process is already overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly.
Last thing we wanted to have our parents be more having to study,
Yeah.
So we implemented a systematic way of ensuring that our kids are getting all of their related services and their specially designed instruction. And it's
Yeah.
made a real difference. We use it not only in IEP meetings to make decisions about whether a student needs more supports or less supports, but we also use it as a way for administrators to track, where are my teachers, where are my support
Mm-hmm.
facilitators, where are my related service providers. So we're always really, nicely so we're able to keep a pulse on what our staff's doing, as well as ensuring that our students are getting what they need.
Awesome. Awesome. Donald Miller, who, when I first started this company, he does the story brand, and it's a way of marketing. And one of the things that he says, and I watched his podcasts religiously for, I think maybe 2 years, just, trying to keep learning and understanding, because you do have an audience, you do have a market, then those parents are your market. And he says, if you confuse, you lose. So you're exactly doing, even though, it's not something but it does apply,
Oh,
about
absolutely.
let's make sure that we take care of the people and they understand what we're doing. And so that's that's one of those things that just stuck with me. And like, I really want to make sure that my students, my parents, my therapists, my schools know where we're at, over communicating and making sure everything's clear, because it matters, right?
Well, and having it all in one place too.
Yes. Yes.
So backing up to stepping in 4 years ago, I may have been invited to this position for a variety of reasons, but I think one of the main was my connection to Flagler County in itself. Both my girls have gone through Flagler County schools. I firmly and deeply believe that it is our responsibility to ensure our students have everything that they need to become successful contributors to our community, so we can keep them here. They're
Right.
our commodity, and they're going to be my neighbor.
Right.
So as our students graduate and move on, they're going to be my next door neighbor or my cross the street neighbor, or they're going to be the ones taking care of my vehicle, or they're going to be the ones. It's really important that that we do what we can for our kids all the time, not just
Mm-hmm.
but all of the time. And the fact that, my investment level in Flagler, this is my 32nd year in education. It's my 22nd year, maybe third, in Flagler County. So I don't remember
Wow.
that right off the top of my head.
That's
But
okay.
my husband and I together, we really did think, we're going to be here for just a minute. We're going to be in Flagler for a minute. So we moved here. I was working on my doctorate. I'm like, I'm going to be here for a minute. I'm going to go off and I'm going to change the world and help future educators get really excited about special education. And I fell in love with Flagler. I fell in love
Nice.
with our communities. I fell in love with our kids. I worked primarily with the kids with the most significant cognitive disabilities and physical
Mm-hmm.
impairments. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see them graduate. I wanted to see them get across the stage. I wanted to see them go off and find employment. So we really did, my husband and I together, we really just kind of built roots here. And believe very firmly in part of my job. I'm giving you all this. So part of my job is to build relationships with my
Yeah,
community. And how do you do
absolutely.
that? I mean, I have to
Mm-hmm.
be accessible. My door's open to parents. My email's open to parents. I'm not going to say everybody's got my cell phone, because that wouldn't be true.
No, it's
But I
okay.
have built a very good relationship with our ESE parent organization, so that there isn't this barrier between administration and families. I can
Mm-hmm.
be your advocate too.
Mm-hmm.
I can be somebody that can sit in the boat with you, understand what you're going through. I've lived right down the street too, so I know that we have only a handful of grocery stores that you can get to, and I can sit right there with you and walk you through the process of supporting your kids. That
Right.
really, I think, is probably one of the reasons that I was selected 4 years ago, is because, our schools matter, our kids matter, and this community that I raised my two beautiful daughters in, this is my community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
Yeah.
to pour
Ownership.
into it with the hopes that me pouring in and my husband pouring in and those that I love pouring in, we're going to reap the benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. And it shows, obviously, because you're making good progress. You're making strides. And when you love what you do, I always say, it's like one of those, if you love what you do, you don't really work. It becomes just a part of who you are. And that's really cool. That's really, really cool. So,
Yeah.
so what would you say are some of your biggest wins then? I know you said you talked about the getting it all together, but what else is going on there?
So professional learning has been an area that we've really focused on. Flagler County, our continuum of services, we really are a full inclusion district with what we're calling cluster type programs. So when students have a similar area of need, let's say, like I'll describe the students that I just said were my class, students who have significant cognitive disabilities that maybe use communication devices, that need assistance with personal care, that utilize all different kinds of modalities from wheelchairs to walkers. That population, we have such a small amount of those kids in Flagler. We do put them all in one school. So both high schools may not have a classroom for functional life skills. We only have one. All 5 elementaries may not have that environment. We just have one. So being a full inclusion district, ensuring and preparing our teachers to have students with unique abilities in their classroom is very, very important.
Right.
So 4 years ago, so I also, just to let you know, I'm actively involved in some professional organizations. One is DCDT, the CEC, Council for Exceptional Children's Division of Career Development and Transition Services. And I'm also an active member of CASE, which is the Council for Administrators of Special Education. So I put on a lot of conferences. So 4 years ago, I'm like, all right, we're gonna attack this together. We're gonna make sure that everybody's on the same page. All of our school ESE teachers and all of our school professionals and all of our school paraprofessionals and all of our school administrators are going to get the same professional learning. We're going to give it all to them. And we called it the Transformer Summer Conference.
Oh, fun.
I know, it is fun. It really was fun. But there were lanes. So if I am a support facilitator, an ESE teacher, I could go to cooperative teaching and teaming. I could go for behavior management. I could go for creating best standards in the classroom. I had a track that I could follow. If I was a paraprofessional, I had a paraprofessional track that I could follow. If I was a self-contained teacher, like working with students on access points, which is modified curriculum, I had a track for them to be able to follow. And then finally, we also offered a track for our exceptional student education administrators. So all of the assistant principals on a campus, they had a track to follow as well. And it was a great launch for me. It was a great launch for my role, because it set a standard. This is what we're going to offer. If you are going to be a support facilitator in a general education classroom, we're going to train you and your general education teacher side by side on what's considered best practices. So we started that 4 summers ago, and fortunately, every summer since, I've been able to offer those same trainings, but kicked up. So if you've been a support facilitator for 4 years, maybe you did cooperative teaching and teaming. Now we're offering teaching students with disabilities in the least restrictive environment, but we're able to build off of that. So if you're a new teacher, you're going through these things, but it's the same content.
Right.
We'll kick you up next year, and then the following year we'll kick up.
Yeah.
If you're a teacher in a self-contained classroom, you're getting all of these PLs that I kind of described to you that we did 4 years ago, but we're individualizing it now. So I'm not bringing everybody together at one time. It's not like a little mini conference. It's more like in June, we're doing these trainings. In July, we're doing these trainings, and administrators can sign their new ESE teachers or returning ESE teachers up.
That must have been a big...
Eventually, we're not going to have that luxury. Eventually, we're not going to have the luxury to be offering it during the summer. But as long as I have those baseline, everybody gets this trainings, I think we're going to continue to see the growth, because now those ESE teachers are also now administrators.
Right.
They get it.
Yeah,
it's a very easy buy-in.
Right. And it must have been a big lift to begin with for you to get that all set up and sorted. I mean, it sounds like you're incredibly organized. And it sounds like you've got some amazing people behind you, but wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, and the support that you have, there is, anytime you start a new position, there is always that, like, it feels like a very steep learning curve, right? But you've given them a pathway to climb that mountain without, and you've got a safety harness and you've got people to help them, to follow that analogy. But it's impressive. And, you get to this level, this plateau, and you come back and, oh, goodness, we get to climb higher. Fantastic. Yeah. One thing I often hear from school leaders is, I just want a partner who puts students first. At Lighthouse Therapy, that's exactly what we do. We don't have outside investors, and we don't answer to shareholders. Instead, we answer to school leaders like you, those listening to this podcast. Whether you're wanting virtual, hybrid, or in-person therapy, our systems are designed to make your life easier and your team stronger. We are a therapy company run by therapists for the betterment of students. Visit lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together to learn how we can help you support your students this year.
So, and it's been really fun, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like fun. I mean, maybe it's not fun for somebody else, but it's been really fun to see, okay, what was the buy-in the first time we did cooperative?
Mm-hmm.
Does she really want to do this? Is she really going to visit our classrooms? Are they really going to do walkthroughs? And then we did.
Right.
So
follow
the
through, right?
For everybody next year is, whoa, wait a minute. There's really something to say about small group instruction and working cooperatively and making sure that we're planning together. There's really something to it. So our scores improved. And you were like, huh, look at that. You know, I mean, just by implementing something that's considered to be evidence-based best practice, we really are seeing the growth.
Wow.
And it's not just, nobody's pulling wool over your eyes. This is what we do. This is how we do Flagler. So when teachers are onboarded, their first and foremost thing they're expected to do is take IEP development. Well, I've been an ESC teacher in blah, blah, blah county forever and ever. That's great. And I'm happy. But this is how we're going to do it. And I'm going to make sure you have my baseline professional learning that we can build off of. And we do. So for some teachers, you know, they only need that one training because they've got the experience. But for others, we do need a little bit more explicit instruction. We need a little bit more hand-holding, modeling and coming back to practice. You know, some folks just need that. And because we do have those, if you will, those tiered out steps for professional learning, we can always go back a step if we need to.
Yeah. And clear standards and very clear standards.
I feel like they're very clear. Certainly that may not be the case for everybody, but you can find it all in our ESE manual. Well, you can find it all in our PMP. You know what it is that you're stepping into when you step into Flagler.
What's PMP?
Our policies and procedures for special education.
PNP. Okay. Policies and procedures. See, I thought you said PNP. I was like, what's PNP?
So sorry.
No, you're okay. You're okay. Your passion is there. You got it. Again, it's just the clarity. We want clarity. So, okay. So we are close to out of time. Believe me, that went so fast. It goes so fast. But I have one question that I try to ask everybody. And if there is one thing in your district, and you cannot say money because everybody needs more money, but if there was one thing that you could miraculously solve in your influence, in your area of what you do, you could just, it's a problem or it's the first thing that comes to mind. Man, if I could just fix that consistently, my life would be so much better and the kids' lives would be so much better, and blah, extrapolate from there. What would that one thing be?
It's really not a hard one for me. It would be staffing.
Good.
It would be our staffing. I in Florida, I'm going to just say very loosely in Florida, we are struggling with school psychologists, with occupational therapists, with speech language therapists. We have put some initiatives in to recruit and to maintain our staff, but it's competing with the private district's very difficult. Competing with private area. Gal that was my speech language therapist, my lead, and God knows, man, losing her was a heartbreak, but seeing her happy, I mean, how do you can't argue that.
Right.
But certainly she left to go open her own business, and I'm thrilled for her, but the loss has been just really devastating, keeping people onboarded in a world where virtual, it's a real thing.
It is absolutely.
When you're evaluating kids, you can evaluate virtually, but you really get more out of your kids when you're face to face.
Yeah,
you just are. So school psychologists, I have two that I am very, very fond of and very grateful for. And the rest of them are contracted. And one day I'm hoping to have a full team, and that would certainly make lives better for everybody involved, when we're evaluating kids. So if I could solve that one thing, it would be that we could face some of the challenges of finding not just a person, because as I've said, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm invested. Yeah. I don't want just a person. I want somebody that loves Flagler. Right. I want somebody that loves our kids. And I want somebody that's not going to mind sitting on the floor if this is the best way to evaluate a kid. So That's what that if I could change that one thing,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
I
we would
think
kind of
that's a big one. Yeah. And I've been just to put my plug in there, it's better. I'll tell you, teletherapy is just not going away. It's not going
no, it's
away.
no. I agree.
And I always tell districts, because that's what we do. I mean, we do some hybrid, and we're stepping into some in person, but I've been doing teletherapy since 2011. And I try to tell schools, yeah, I know everybody wants an in person. And I agree that, if you can find somebody, go for it. But if you can't, then don't let your kids go without services.
Yeah, we're not.
Please don't.
We're not doing
And
it.
I know you don't.
Not.
I
Nope.
absolutely not. And I'm saying this for the
Yeah.
audience that's hearing this too, because it's like Lighthouse Therapy. And I'm going to plug my company for just a minute here, because we got into my area, really got into my area. We don't have minimums. We don't have contract minimums. We don't have student minimums. And we want to partner with schools like you, who just want what's best for their kids. If you take care of human beings, if you serve students, if you serve your therapist, then the rest of it takes care of itself. So I never want kids to go without services. I know, I hear it all the time. I mean, I'm the CEO and founder of Lighthouse Therapy, and we are primarily virtual. Like I said, we are stepping into some hybrid and some in person. But in person, if you haven't found it at the school, it's going to be really hard for us to find it as well.
Right.
And hybrid, we're literally bringing someone to you. It's expensive. So, it's like, what do you do? So it's definitely a balancing act for you guys. And I totally get that.
Yeah. And then I also think as we share this, we have plenty of students that virtual works great. Virtual work great for, but if I've got a 3-year-old that I'm doing a full evaluation on, if I can have a face-to-face person, it's going to be my way to go.
And that's what you do. That's what you're going to do. You're going to, as a director, you're going to, okay, I have to do teletherapy. I know I have to. I know I have a company I can trust, and I know they'll give me therapists. But then you're going to look and evaluate, okay, which students does it make the most sense to put in the teletherapy model? Because, that's exactly, I mean, as you should, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic. Great conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Where should people go if they want? I know people are going to be interested in your professional development. I know they are. And I'm sure that Case and CEC people will probably be like, "Ooh, is she here? I heard her on the podcast," right? So let's have them know where to find you. So how do they find you, and how do they find Flagler?
Well, if you go on our Flagler Schools website, you just type in Flagler Schools under Exceptional Student Education. You'll see my information.
Oh,
but I'll give it to you as well. It's Halliday, K, HALLIDAY, at flaglerschools.com. You're welcome to reach me anytime.
Awesome.
We have a website, lots of information on our programs, on our transition programs. There's so many things that we're proud of. Not everything's on the website, but certainly reaching me it's pretty easy. My phone is attached to my email.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll stop there. We'll stop there. Yeah, I don't want you to get flooded, but I do, and it's Flagler as FLAGLER.
Yes,
Flagler. Okay. Want to make sure that as well, because some people are only listening, and I want them to have the information. So, because I know you've got a lot to share, and I know we're going to be at Case this year. Lighthouse is going to be at Case. So if you're there, and come over and say hello, anybody who's listening and you're going to be at Case, absolutely come see us. It's in Oklahoma City this year. So,
okay, awesome.
Which is super fun. We're excited about being there this year. So, I've been to one before, but it's been a while, so I'm excited. John, our director of executive VP of sales, is dragging me all over the country, so I'm going. I'll be there. And then Asha is is it in Florida? No, it's in DC this year. DC, so we're going to Asha as well. So, but super fun stuff coming, and actually it'll be it's August 12th, so hopefully this will be published before that comes out. So, all right, well. Great talking with you. Thank you for your time.
For sure.
It was a pleasure to have you on Brighter Together. Really.
Thank you. I look forward to connecting again.
Awesome.